Hello everyone, welcome back to Smart Move Insider, a place where we talk about fitness, community, and making progress inside and outside the gym. I'm Sergio here with head coach Bart, and today we're going to talk about the most famous hero WOD, Murph. Tune in to find out what is a hero WOD, how to approach it, and how this can be your annual benchmark or fitness test. Let's start with the beginning. What is a hero WOD, Bart?
A hero WOD is a workout that is made in honoring a fallen soldier. Usually these are longer, more challenging workouts because, I don't know how they say it, to suffer like they did, I guess, something like that. So, and Murph is one of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to remind you of the struggle that you need to have when you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
It's sort of the mindset that you need to survive the challenge ahead of you if you really need to. So you cannot bail, you cannot quit. You just need to move forward and forward, like the soldiers.
Yeah, and this one, Murph was specially made to honor Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who was killed in action in Afghanistan 2005. And usually in majority of the CrossFit gyms in the world, it gets done on Memorial Day, and Memorial Day is usually the last Monday of May, and this will be this month on the 26th. That's also why you saw me in your mailbox this week saying that the programming focus of the month of May will be Murph prep. So in the month of May, we'll do some more body weight style exercises to build a bit to the volume of Murph. So to make more sense, Murph is 1,600 meter run or a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 air squats, and then you finish again with a mile run. So this month we'll work up our to that volume because it's a lot of volume, a lot of body weight. And we'll have some workouts like a Cindy, that's 20-minute AMRAP of the same exercises, 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. Or an Angie, that's 100 pull-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 air squats, 100 sit-ups. So we're going to work our way up to get used to it from week to week to week to then in the end, when you're going to have to do 100, 200, 300, that your body is a little bit ready for it. Otherwise, it's going to be a big shock.
From the first look at it, it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
That's a really long run. 2 times, and in the middle there are many reps. So do you remember your first encounter with this workout when you did it the first time?
I think maybe the first time I don't 100% remember. I might have done it in world class alone, but for sure the second time it was with you outside when we were hanging next to Somesh on an improvised climbing rack, some rings to do, some improvised keeping pull-ups because you couldn't really keep on the moving rings, but we did it in the sun, 30 degrees.
I remember it was a Saturday, and we were there with a bunch of people. We hang out a few rings for the pull-ups because not too many people were able to do pull-ups, and then we had ring rows for the rest of them, for the majority. And I remember it was very warm, and then we measured the 1 mile on that bridge.
It was between the bridges, right? The one at Polyvalenta and then that iron bridge, and we were making circles there.
Yeah, I don't know how correct it was because this was 10 years ago and the maps and the apps were not that great back then. But now for sure you can map it out really fast and you can put 1 mile over there.
Yeah. It was now the entire area has been renovated, so that climbing rack is gone now.
Because why I'm thinking of this is that I finished pretty fast, and that was my fastest Murph.
Yeah.
So I was like, or I counted wrong and skipped some reps, or I ran less.
Yeah, or we run less, or we weren't so strict on the reps, on the push-ups and the pull-ups. But yeah, that was also faster than what I did the years after.
Exactly. And I don't even want to remember how I felt my arms after doing majority of the pull-ups strict, because you cannot keep too much. If you keep, you're keeping for nothing because it's impossible on the rings.
But yeah, those were the outdoor days and the improvised days, but it was fun. And you can do that even now. That's the nice thing about Murph, because the only thing you need technically is a pull-up bar or a place to hang your rings, and the rest, it's body weight and running. So it's a perfect workout to do outside.
Yeah, that was my next question to you. Why do you think this is the most famous hero WOD? Because of just what you said, that it's easy to do wherever you want to do it?
I think, and also it's a long, challenging one. It hits you on the muscular endurance. It's pulling, pushing, it's legs, it's cardio, so it has a little bit of everything. It's also a big mental struggle because it's long. For most people, this is 40 to 60 minutes to finish. The advantage for CrossFit gyms is that it doesn't take a lot of space, so you could do bigger classes on that day, which is also nice. So you're not restricted to 14 people classes. You could go bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe also there was a movie with Mark Wahlberg about how this guy, Michael Murphy, on what mission he died. It's called Lone Survivor from a movie from 2013. So look it up if you didn't see it. It's not a bad movie, but it's about that guy in that SEAL team that they made this workout for. So I don't know, maybe because it's mediatized, that maybe why this one sticks in the memory of most.
Yeah, it is the most mediatized, as far as I know. And if it has a movie behind it, it brings more drama to it.
Some gyms make even t-shirts.
Yeah, there's a big fuss around it. And I think the most important part, it is very easy to remember it. It is so easy to remember it. 1, 2, 300 pull-ups, push-ups, squats. But if you look at the other hero WODs, they are very complicated, complex. So you don't remember them that easily.
Even non-CrossFitters, I've seen them online doing the Murph challenge because it's so mediatized that even gym bros give it a go.
Exactly. And have you been doing it regularly? When is the last time
you remember?
Usually,
the last time I remember, 2 years ago. It was the last one. Last year I didn't do it, but 2 years ago I did it.
And so how do you feel usually in the workout like this? Take me through your experience.
Usually, I don't do it with vest because that's the discussion a lot on what is RX on this workout. The original workout is written as do this with vest and partition where needed, so break up the reps where needed. Meaning you don't need to do 100 pull-ups, finish them all, then go to the push-ups, finish them all, then go to the air squats, finish them all. You can partition where you want. That's considered the RX. For me, that's more of a RX Plus version because I've never done it with vest because the non-vested version was always challenging enough. So here at Smart Move, if you do the exercises RX, meaning I'm doing keeping pull-ups, I'm doing full range of motion push-ups, and I'm doing all the volume, we consider that RX. No matter if you do it unpartitioned, 100, 200, 300, or you split it up in 20 rounds of 5, 10, 15, it's still RX. This workout is not so much about, can I push this RX button or not? It's more about executing it and executing it at a certain intensity. Because I know that a lot of people, they only feel like they had the roughest time if they put a vest, but if you put a vest and it takes you an hour and a half, I don't think this is very efficient. No matter if it's with the vest, I think you should still be able to finish it under 60 minutes. So when I usually do it, I've done it both ways, 100, 200, 300, or split it up. We'll talk a bit more on the different strategies later. But definitely if you do 100, 200, 300, it's more of a muscle endurance problem because eventually you go to failure. Maybe the first 100, the first 50 pull-ups go pretty smooth, but then all of a sudden your set starts going smaller and smaller, and especially on the push-ups, the first 100 usually go good, like pretty big sets, 10, 15, 20, but then once you pass the 70, it starts becoming sets of 5. Once you pass the 100, it's 2s and 1s, and so if you do it like that, it will become more of a muscle endurance challenge. But if you do it in a split up way, then I think it's more of a cardio challenge. And that's usually the majority of my Murphs, I did it more the cardio challenge than the muscle endurance challenge. So 20 sets of 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats, and then just keep on moving. Ideally, I would try to do that every minute on the minute.
And how are the runs for you? They go pretty smooth?
Yeah, try to pace myself on the first one because it's a long workout, not to go out too hot because you could end up running a 1 mile PR, and that's not the idea if you still have another, let's say, 30 minutes of work to do after. Let's say if things go well, that middle part takes you 20 minutes if you partition it, and then you'd have another 10 minutes for the next run, which will be slower than the first one. So yeah, I try to find the middle point. My fastest mile is 6 minutes. So if I come in at like 7 or 7.5, I think then it's like a good rhythm not to have gone out too fast. And then for sure, the second run will not be 7.5 minutes. So give a bit of space for myself.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you prefer to do it partition or non-partition, or you just keep on switching?
I tried it both. So for the first few years, I tried it with 100, 200, 300. And that was really hard for the entire body. My back, my wrists, my running was having a lot of suffering after the 300 squats. And I tried more to do it partitioned, especially after my 30s. After I passed the step, I was like, let's partition it and just keep it like that and just focus on the runs and then see how that goes. And I remember one year I went sub 50 and I said I'm going to try with a vest. When I tried with a vest, it was such a difference.
It's so much harder.
Yeah, very hard.
I can see it. I never did it myself, but I can just see it when people do it. I think you can easily add 15 minutes to your time.
Yes. I went over an hour. I was expecting to just be 58, 59, but no, I was 10 minutes after. And I was in shape, let's say. I wasn't suffering about that one. So I tried both, running with the vest, running without. The worst part about the vest is that it constricts your breathing. And it's not that heavy, it's 10 kilos. But having it's a constant pressure on your chest. Yeah. And after the first one is fine, because you put your hands here like in the backpack and just run with it. But on the last run, your arms are dead from all the pull-ups and push-ups.
So you don't want to hold your hands up at your armpits anymore.
Yeah, and they start to get numb and you cannot run anymore. So I remember the worst part with the vest time was on the last run. I was suffering so bad that I wanted to stop. And then is when you remember the whole point of the workout, that you don't stop no matter what. Maybe you're going to walk it a bit of a distance. That I did. I did walk a bit. But then you run again. But it was a very, very painful experience. So with the vest, I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to try and improve my times without the vest and just go as fast as possible on the reps. And usually I go Cindy. Yeah. Cindy style, that's not Cindy. I do, because my pull-ups is not anymore, my push-ups are not that strong point anymore. So I'm doing 5 push-ups, 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, and then 15 squats.
Yeah, that's what they call the push-up saver.
Yeah, the push-up saver, exactly. Yeah. And
I think a lot of people should do this, because I know a lot of people can do RX push-ups, but they struggle with doing 10 in a row. And this is a way to save your push-ups to be able to keep on going, because you have a little break between the 5 push-ups.
I can do 100, but after that mark, I'm dead. And after the 150 mark, I'm close to doing ones. And when I'm getting to that point, I'm losing time. I'm getting frustrated, and it's pain from that point on. So I'm trying to see if I'm going to prepare this year a bit more on the push-ups to be able to do it. But it's a mental game, because I know how much it hurts, and even after how much it hurts. So
you know what? I have the problem that I know how much it hurts, and if usually it starts hurting at 100 of the 200 if I do it unpartitioned. But if that moment comes earlier than expected, that sucks so bad. Yeah. Because you're knowing like, fuck it, already happening at 70 and I'm already doing sets of 2. And then now I have 130 reps to go, and usually that only happens after 100 when I'm halfway. So that becomes a mental challenge then, because you're like, oh no, it's going to be even worse than I thought.
Yeah, when that happens, it's like, fuck, abort mission. And then it all goes to waste. I think the worst thing that can happen in you doing your Murph, the first, the second, or the third time, doesn't matter, is the losing count.
Yeah, that was
It
my next
happened to me.
question. What do you do to make sure that you keep count?
Yeah, I use different stuff, the clips, or I use the boards with the lines. But I did it once and I lost my count at the round 15 and I was doing the Cindy one. And I didn't know where I was anymore. Like my mind got erased from all of a sudden. And I was like, shit, where am I now? And I lost the count, I lost my focus, and I lost everything. So I just stopped eventually.
Yeah.
I didn't continue. It was at Berrerie 2019, I think.
So you did a run, you did 15 rounds of cine, and you said, okay, it's enough.
Yeah, I fucked it up so bad.
Yeah.
And I was like disappointed. And I said, okay, I might just stop.
Yeah, so to avoid this, come prepared, think a little bit on what works for you, how to keep count. Is it make a line every 5 rounds of Cindy, or wipe out a line, put 5 lines there, or put 20 lines there, and every round you go to the little clipboard and wipe out the line, or find something. But if you don't have any system, you have a big chance once you're totally exhausted to lose count somewhere.
And yes, it has a toll, and it has a big step on your energy where you do the Murph. If you do it at Berrerie or at Unumai. Unfortunately, the stairs.
After the run.
The stairs take a toll on you.
Yeah.
I can tell you. My time improved like 3 minutes when I did it at Berrerie, and the next year I did it at Unumai.
Yeah, it's normally because you don't want to walk the stairs. You probably sprint the stairs.
Yeah, especially in the last one. You need to each second counts.
Yeah, you want to finish on top, inside the room, not in front of the door. And how do you feel usually from a muscle point of view after a Murph? Are you in a lot of muscle pain, or is it not so bad if you prepared yourself by doing enough workouts in that style?
I was about to say, if I follow your programming, if I follow the steps you are putting for the whole community to do, I'm okay. If I do the preparation and if I do the unpartitioned one, I have my biceps blown up and then I have my legs blown up, because no matter how much you prepare 100 pull-ups, even if you do butterfly or keeping, it's still you're gonna feel it on your biceps. And 300 squats, it's big volume. You don't have a way around it, but it's not that painful because you prepared, you are used to this. But don't expect not to have any muscle pain. That's impossible.
But you shouldn't be completely broken if in the weeks before you had 50 pull-ups in this workout, you had 100 push-ups over there. By the time you come to the Murph and you do 200 push-ups, it's going to be different than in all these weeks. I didn't do any push-ups and air squats and pull-ups, and now all of a sudden I have to do 600 reps is the total volume of the workout. It's going to be a bit brutal.
And I want to clear it out that what you refer to as blown up your biceps or quads is like the next day you cannot extend your arm. You cannot. It's painful to do this.
Yeah.
And on the legs, you barely put yourself on a chair and get up from it. You remember that pain.
Of course. If you tap with your finger on your leg that you feel muscle pain, then you overdid it.
You overdid it. You don't want that. You want to be prepared.
It's not a badge of honor, in my opinion. It means you pushed your body a little bit too far to be able to in the next days, because remember, we're going to do this on 26th of May on a Monday. Ideally, we want to train the day after, or at least Wednesday. So if you're in so much muscle pain that the rest of the week you can't do anything, it's a bit too much, and that's not the point of it. Yes, it's a mental thing. You need to push through, but we also need to prepare our body for challenges like this. This is also why I'm not a fan, and I'm not in admiration of people that say, I went to the Cluj Marathon and I did it without training. It's a bit silly to me. Why would you do that to yourself? You make things harder than it is, and you might hurt yourself because you overdid it too much. It was too much of a shock for your body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So how do you prepare the community for Murph? What do you do differently than... what do you do on purpose?
On purpose, I will start putting workouts in that have volume of push-ups, pull-ups, air squats. You will also see maybe a little bit more often running workouts. Of course, then it's up to you not to pick the rower that day, but 1,600 meters 2 times is not a huge amount of volume, but if you never run, it might take you longer than 10 minutes. And ideally, in the Metcon, if you do it without vest, you should run that mile under 10 minutes. to have a bit of to keep a bit the stimulus of the workout. And to do that, you gonna have to have done a couple of workouts where you put some running in. So for your calves and Achilles to get a bit used to the sensation of running. But also just the pure volume of bodyweight exercises, just to get used to it. Some workouts will have 50 pull-ups, some workouts will have 100 push-ups in total. But then we'll slowly build up from in 3 weeks to that 4th week where on Monday then we do Murph.
So basically, time-wise, you go 1 month in advance the preparation for the Murph, or
it's about 1 month, because in the last week of April I already put a couple of workouts where you had some body weight exercises to do and a bit of strict work. But I'll just in the 3 weeks after put the volume a little bit higher, and you'll get those Cindy, Angie, Chelsea type workouts there that have exactly those movements in them in some way. Not necessarily always 100, 200, 300, but like one time it's 5, 10, 15, like in a Cindy. The Angie is sets of 100 where you then feel that other side. Like I said, one is more cardio. If you do 100 in an Angie, it's more of a muscle endurance, so you also feel that. So we'll build up. So you'll have a bit of a muscle pain from those workouts, but you'll be more ready then for that Murph volume. So to get back shortly on that, I know that some of you want to do this with vest because you have already a bit of a history doing a couple of years of Murph, and it's just fine. But I wouldn't recommend anybody to do it with vest. If without vest you can do like 25 keeping pull-ups when you're fresh. If you can do that, you can probably handle it because the volume obviously is going to drop big time.
What do you mean 25 pull-ups?
No vest when you're fresh, 25 keeping pull-ups. If you don't have that, unbroken. If you don't have that capacity, I wouldn't advise you to put a vest on because you're not that strong yet at pull-ups.
That's a good point.
Because how many, you did it with vest, how many pull-ups do you do then the Cindy version, or did you do with vest also the 100, 200, 300 version?
Cindy version, yeah.
Okay. So, and could you stay unbroken with the vest, 5s?
Unfortunately not.
So eventually you can't anymore. So see, that's why I say 25 if you don't have that capacity, because it's going to get hard even with sets of 5 eventually.
2, 3, everything was giving out. My wrists, my grip.
Yeah.
It wasn't so pleasant.
Yeah. So yeah. It's good to be a bit prepared and realistic, but you can do it partition or unpartitioned. Like we said, I would advise the first step for everybody that tries this to start partitioned. Just break it up. Cindy style. There are more, like Sergio already mentioned, the push-up saver, where you will do 5 push-ups, 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups.
How many types there are?
There are so many. Yeah. If you will put that online, you're going to get 20, 30 different strategies. But the most common one is the Cindy one because it's easy to remember, 5, 10, 15. But then another one that's easy to remember is 10, 20, 30, 10 rounds. Or the double amount of it, 20, 40, 60, 5 rounds. It depends a little bit where you want to go.
So 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups,
30 air squats, 10 rounds.
10 rounds. I might try this one this year.
Yeah, 10 pull-ups, 20 push-ups, 30 air squats, 10 rounds, and see how long it lasts. Yeah, eventually just split them up. They don't go unbroken anymore, and just split them up in 3 or 4 times, or in the pull-ups start going 5-5 with a short break. It's something to try to see, am I faster like this, or am I still faster just doing 5, 10, 15 for 20 rounds? Or maybe some people have very big capacity and they can do 20 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, 60 air squats, 5 rounds. From a mental point of view, maybe this is easier because you think it's only 5 rounds. But it's big chunks of work.
Big chunks of 5 rounds.
Depends a bit how much rest you're going to need in between the...
But however you do it, you need a bit of a strategy. You cannot go just with your head in front in this workout because you might not pass it how you want to.
Yeah, I would, if these strategies we named...
but usually I know that you put under the Murph many times the strategy to our members, right?
And also I will, again, make a post on this where I will mention the strategies to remember people. But besides these strategies, there are many more online. But I would suggest you to come in with a strategy in mind in advance, not to go blind into this, because depending on your strengths and weaknesses, you might want to pick one or the other strategy.
This is very important. It's a good point. come in with a strategy, and if you don't have one or don't know how to make one, just talk to us, talk to a coach. For sure, we're going to have, from our experience, a way for you to go through it.
Yeah, anybody can do this workout, and then it comes also to the scaling. So if you're new to Murph, or upper body strength is not is something that you need to work on, it's not something you excel at yet, I advise you to start with a scaled down version where you just do half of the volume, which is basically, like they call it, half a Murph. It's run 800, do 50 pull-ups, do 100 push-ups, do 150 air squats, run 800. This would be the unpartitioned version of it, but also this you can flip it into rounds. You can say, okay, 10 rounds of 5, 10, 15. Mm-hmm. Or you can make some kind of a switch depending on your weaknesses. Imagine I'm weak at the running. I will leave the original Murph, 100, 200, 300, partitioned or unpartitioned, and I will run 800 at the beginning and at the end. I only cut half of my weakness, or the other way around. I keep the running because I'm quite good with running, but I do in the middle, do 50, 100, and 150. So it depends a little bit on your weaknesses. We can play around with it. So it just, if you don't know how to decide for yourself, like Sergio said, talk to the coach, and we'll come up with something that is suitable for you according to your strengths and weaknesses.
I think this is very important to know, because back in the days we didn't know about it. It was very unclear. Is it the right way? Is it wrong way to scale it? Did you did Murph in the end if you scale it like half, like you just said earlier, or is it okay for a newbie?
I think it's very okay for a newbie. Also keep in consideration the thinking. It's the first time. You don't know what to expect, so I would go on the side of caution and take it more easy, or do half a Murph. Or another one that I like is do it in team. Call your workout buddy, book the same class, and say we're going to do it in team today. We will run together, and then the middle part, we will split it just like at any other team workout. You work, I rest, and then we switch. We keep switching up until we are through the pull-ups, then through the push-ups, then through the air squats, and then we run again. Or we decide to do, okay, we're going to do 20 rounds of Cindy. We run together. You do a Cindy, I rest. I do a Cindy, you rest. And we alternate until we each did 10 rounds of Cindy, and then we run again. So like this, you still did half of the work, but it will be more manageable because there will be big chunks of built-in rest because you're with a partner. And also because you're with a partner, he or she can motivate you to push when you're starting to get tired.
This is really new to me. I never heard about the team version of Murph, but I think this is a very fun approach to it.
Yeah.
It can be entertaining and it can be supportive because you will keep yourself accountable and you keep yourself engaged. You cheer for each other.
I like team workouts.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, if you maybe look at the workout Murph and you think this is too extreme for you, maybe it will still be a way for you to still come in and do the workout, because you will only do half of the work like this. It will be less intimidating. It will be more manageable. So my main point being, there is always a way for you to do this workout in one way or the other.
So it's for everybody that wants to try it. Just come inside and give it a go. Don't make it the boogeyman. It can be done. We have multiple scaling options for you. Don't be scared.
Yeah, or ask also in the week before, on Friday or Thursday. Yeah, it's next week is Murph. If you have any questions or any doubts, talk to a coach, and we will set your mind at ease that we will give you a workout that is suitable for you, because it's a nice workout. Mm-hmm. So something that I want to wrap up with is a lot of time in a Murph can be lost on transition. So for you guys to be aware of walking from exercise to exercise, on these partition strategies, there will be a lot of moments of transition, especially if you start breaking them up in small sets. So keep in mind that in a workout, you are moving from the pull-up bar to the floor to the squats, potentially like 20 times that you're moving from one part to another. And then I'm not even thinking about maybe all of a sudden the 10 push-ups, you start splitting them out. So there is another transition time there. So it could be a lot of walking around time, a lot of resting time. So keep your stations close So do your push-ups close to your pull-up station, do your air squats close to your push-up, and stay close. Don't start walking around to chalk buckets and to water and to before you know it, there are so many potential moments where you can rest that you will lose minutes. So stay close, do some push-ups, shake your arms, look on your clock, give yourself 10 seconds, do some more push-ups, walk to the pull-up bar, do 3, jump down, shake your arms, do 2, but don't start walking around because it's very easy to lose time on this.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. But also, I hope the coach will try to organize the people a bit, because it's a thing that we emphasize. Because I remember once we did the Murph and we were like 20 at Brewery, and what was happening, we were too many RX at the pull-up bar,
Okay.
and there's the smaller pull-up bar over there, rack, because we have just 4 stations.
Everybody wanted the lowest bar.
Everybody was under the bar, yeah. And then it became dangerous because somebody was swinging, somebody was in a wrong position, and it got a bit so safety first.
Yeah.
We need to see that we have space and we don't get a shoe in the head or I don't know, sweat.
For this reason, you sometimes see me, because I know some people say, why do we do these Metcon prep rounds? Sometimes in some workouts, it's not necessarily to warm you up for the Metcon. Usually it is. But sometimes I let you do a round or two just to see if everybody's in place. Where is everybody have a station? Does everybody have a pull-up station? Is everybody safe, or do I need to move some people? That's why we sometimes say, okay, now do 2 rounds of 5 pull-ups, 5 push-ups, 5 air squats, just to see where is everybody gonna end up when we're actually gonna start the clock.
Exactly.
So if you jump your feet behind you, are you gonna kick somebody, or does everybody have a ring, or did nobody communicate and everybody wants to go for the same pull-up bar with 3 guys? Then we need to move around a bit.
When I'm in class, I always ask people, I look around and say, is anybody here?
Yeah.
Because nobody's there in the moment. This is my spot now.
The same with rings.
Yeah,
I've seen it a lot of times that all of a sudden somebody starts to move the height of the rings and somebody else says, hey, that's my rings.
Exactly. So, you need to have your own station. And if you need to make 2 steps behind or 2 steps in front, that's manageable. What you were saying is don't
walk from the other side of the room.
Yeah. Don't go to the toilet, don't go to the water, don't go to the chalk bucket. Have everything like in your
in a couple of steps of distance.
3 square meters,
let's
say.
I think everybody can fit. Technically, everybody should be able to fit close to the rack and then walk to the rack, do their pull-ups, walk away from the rack, do their push-ups and air squats, walk to the rack, do the pull-ups, and every time. The only real walk time would be to get back to the pull-up bar, but for the rest, push-ups and air squats can stay in the same square meter, but it just needs to stay safe. And then another thing, recovery. It's a long workout, so think a little bit in advance about your recovery. Hydrate yourself. I would say drink water with electrolytes before, during, and after the workout, because you're going to be losing a lot of sweat during this workout. Before, the reason to maximize hydration levels and to make sure your muscles are ready to perform. During, if you're drinking the electrolyte water, you will postpone the fatigue and you will prevent muscle cramping. And then after, of course, to rehydrate, to reduce the soreness and to speed up the recovery. And then, of course, after Murph, have some good food and take some time to rest. And then for the rest, enjoy the workout. Remember why we do it. Pick a sensible strategy and then just have fun.
Cool. That's a really good spot to wrap it up. Thank you for all the tips that you gave us. And I hope this year we're going to have just PRs and we're going to be very efficient in doing them. So thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone that needs to hear this. And we'll see you soon.